1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 45 after half a 1 year. I just started 46. That man in Sunday today. 46 black. This is where man got drop in something this morning. So I use it to run aside.
Good night, everybody. My phone.
So what if I like I nearly black picture? You don't have to take a whole heap of them. Granted, if a man pushing the whole load in an apartment and in a level down to this way, I say a level it and carry down. You want two more load of this? You can't buy this, you have to buy it there. You have to buy it there. If you can't buy this, you have to get it from somebody who sell it cheaper. So one thing still, when you stand on the gravel, all the concrete, the tile, and now go crack up in years to come. So, I got I work done here today. One bag of cement used.
Michelle, good night. Good night, Michelle. Coming, sweetie. Coming, coming, coming. I'm coming. I'm coming. Coming. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Anyway, oh gosh, I will have to start tonight. Well, I'm going to put on my TikTok.
This from time to time. I'm dealing with co-parenting, learning that dynamic, and dealing with that. And at the same
All right, good night, Pauline. Good night, Pauline. Good night. So, Bruce Golding up my can of worm. And when I say a can of worm, hi, Tramps, good night. When I say a can of worms, I've seen the farmer ambassador to Jamaica come out talking a whole heap of something. Sweet peas, good evening. May I play? I'm going to play. I am going to play. I am going to play. As me say this come up. The People's National Party rejects claim by the government that it's responsibility for delaying Jamaica transition to a republic. Chairman of the JLP task force, Abka Fit-Henley, recently called on opposition leader Mark Golding to abandon what he described as the PNP flip-flopping and delaying tactics regarding the republic process. But in a statement on Tuesday, spokesperson on Justice Zuleika Jess says the government is attempting to shift blame for a constitutional reform process that has stalled because it failed to engage the opposition in meaningful bipartisan discussion. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Jess. You should, I see one Abka Fit-Henley put it out from yesterday. But thank you, Jess. Thank you, Jess. Let them understand that this is a constitutional matter. And I like how they want to turn Portmore in a parish for suit themselves. So they want to turn, they want to have what they want president. Andrew no want to turn in a president. We not allow no to turn Andrew in a president until he can certify. Until he can certify and be honest to the Jamaican people. Sweet peas, good night. Michelle, I greet Michelle already and Pauline. Alright. You hear me? Until, but we are delayed. I something up on the sleeve. That's why I try to buy out the election for turn president. It will not work. We will not sit by. Anyway, I must say, I really like. I think Bruce Golding speak truth. I not going to bash him. But I tell you, it open up a can of worm. Me I look for Donald Trump for answer, but me not see answer yet. But when him say true, I'm going to hear the conversation of the US pass, what him name? Soon tell him his name.
Your mind when you decided to write this letter and to clear vows? First of all, I saw nothing that I had in file, in record in Jamaica against Dale Vaz. So what?
We're not talking about Daryl Vaz.
What the former Prime Minister was insisting on, though, is the diplomacy that is being practiced by the Trump administration is unlike what we have seen in previous times. It's unprecedented, where, as he said, they're literally, or symbolically, not literally, putting a gun to your head. And if you don't fall in line, you're punished. Yes, you're slapped with tariffs that will make your economy virtually in shambles. I think that is the point.
Well, Hugh, I cannot, in some ways, I agree with them from the standpoint of the tariffs that the present administration has put towards many countries, especially our friends, which is Canada and Mexico. I, as an individual and as a person that looks at it from a global standpoint, I disagree with, but at the same time, I'm not in a position of power to change that. Here, Mexico is through the U.S. to the automotive industry is very strong in parts and so forth. Canada. The thing that bothers me about Canada is that we receive timber and so forth from there. It's a small country with a small population. It's a big country, but a small population. So my views does not. I can't disagree with some of the statements he's making. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I am not in the position or in the power to change that. And when the tariffs go on to other countries, it hurts your economy. The same as the U.S. economy. If you look at the U.S. economy, they say that it's booming. It's not booming from the standpoint of the average American person, because the cost of goods, gasoline, housing, food has gone up here in the U.S. So I just, when you're in a position where they try to tie you to a party, a Republican or Democratic Party, or the PNP and the JLP, there's going to be disagreements, and people that are here are going to say things and do things that we would disagree with. I disagree with this. The first Trump administration is entirely different than the second Trump administration. We're seeing that. Do I agree with the president today and some of the things that he's doing? No.
For example,
now, if I was the ambassador to Jamaica from the U.S., I would have a problem there. You have an incoming ambassador that actually says, I'm Donald Trump in high heels.
You want to hear that?
what went through your mind when you decided to write this letter and to use a term that the incoming ambassador, if she makes it, if she is cleared and nominated, you described her as Trump in heels. What do you mean by
That's
that?
her words. I'm just quoting her words.
Oh, she said those words. Yes. And,
Yes.
And
That's it. I'm quoting her.
And tell us, based on your knowledge, experience in Jamaica, and what we're now seeing from the second Trump administration, what will that mean for Jamaica?
I'm concerned. I'm concerned that the relationship between the U.S. and Jamaica could be damaged.
I'm not listening, huh?
When the president, and this is something for another conversation, but when the president leverages all of the things against other countries, and you haven't even touched on China, but when you look at all the tariffs that he has leveraged against some of our good allies, Germany. Take a look at Germany. Take a look at Canada. Take a look at Mexico. They are key allies to the United States. These are key. So I speak personally, and I don't know how other Americans feel, but I feel that when you turn your back on your friends, what type of person are you, and how strong are you going to build your administration? And there's problems in these administrations already.
So a Carrie Lake in Jamaica is going to damage further our relationship with the U.S. That's what you're saying.
I'm saying that Carrie Lake is. It's more like where do we send her? She's already lost 2 elections. She's already been pulled back from Voice of America. She's already been pulled back from there. Now she's in a nomination to be an ambassador, a person that speaks for the United States to Jamaica. I'll let the people of Jamaica, I'll let the people that hear this interview form their own opinion of that. I know what my opinion is.
Yes. Ambassador Donald.
And I think I voiced it, I think I voiced it very strongly.
Very strongly. Very strongly. Frankly, in a stunning manner.
That's the former ambassador to Jamaica. What name? Let me see if I can pronounce his name. Donald Tapia. Dwayne, good night. Sweet peas. Jamaica ain't for problem. Serious problem lies ahead of we. And you see, when you have a government where not straight, him can't talk. Right now, the government, the leader of this country, you said I met Bruce Golding come out and attack. I went what I want to say, but him can't say it. You see, him can't say it. Him can't say nothing. Him in one corner. And if I was him, and I know him can't do it because him in one corner, but if I was in him, I would take my time, draw out, and let somebody else take the reign. But I'm not going to do it. Because I feel say him clever than anybody else. And him can outsmart everybody. But you know hear what the man say? The man say Jamaica go in her. Don't them not come here and I tell you that long time. Hi Barbara. I sure she come show off, but oh good night. I'm just returning from Mexico. Go on about your business. Go on about your business. I'm glad you enjoy yourself anyway. Doing Auntie Jane, I told you long time prepare for an early election. It's coming. You've been saying that, Dwayne. You've been saying that. I mean, I know what going on, but them a move around. I don't know if you watch them in the trends. I don't know if you watch what going on. Them a act like one election a come next month. I Betty and how you do? Glad to see you, Anthony. I want today, you know, I go for call you and say, oh, I not see you, but I end up go on the road and you know, so when I left and go, I never remember what I do. I have to do what I do at the time when I remember. Them let me in one piece of mess, Michelle. Listen me good, and I want to hear me good. If you don't notice what I go on, I say I'll judge right. I'm just going about my constituency. Glad to know you're good. My constituency. And I say, and him up and down busy. I show garbage, I show road, I show this. And I say the member of parliament not do nothing. When you look, you see Michelle Charles up at St. Thomas. So she a build fish pan. And them at this and them at that. See the EEC, the EOJ come out and say 3 municipal corporation need to call a local a by-election. Something are going. Something are going. Something are going. Now, I want to say something about this. And I see Isaac Buchanan came out and said something about it. You're true. Are your body tired and need the rest of the thing, girl? Your body tired and need the rest. You just have to feel it now. You're tired and need the rest. So more and more you find your body, yeah. Your body need the rest. No, hold on then. I say then go down Westmoreland Central and lay a couple container house. And the Prime Minister came out saying the house, the liquor something then cost 2.5 million. I think we're not doing a good job at money management. I believe we're not doing a good job at money management. And I tell you why. 2.5 million could give you a 1 room and a bathroom concrete house. I'm going to tell you how it works. But I think because they don't want to build nothing to structure trying to people their own land or something them I get them, fine. But let me say this. Me and somebody on the live tonight may differ, but me I go say this. Me still believe a container like a something. Even though them are gonna need AC in them. If a concrete house then so hot. If they're so hot, you know them eat here. Me just imagine where them container gonna be like. You know, you still come back on my platform. You say me over here talk. You still come back tonight again. You say me over here or me never say nothing good. You still come back and come listen when me I say no good. Whatever your name, Sean Darkest. You still come back. You see one coming last night, come pass remarks about nothing no good. Are you still a come back on the platform where you know say nothing good not at? It seems like you loving nothing good. It seems like you loving nothing good, man. You can't bear no listen to when no good. Done. Me did tell you last night if you come talk with good and you never come. Me give you all the chance to come talk what is good and you never come talk what is good. I don't know what is the purpose on my platform. Think I need to get rid of you. I think I one of them will come to come help report my channel. Go find something for do. You have a motive every night to follow up my platform. You're one of them where I report it. If they're confused, now come guys, let me check out something here. Yeah, so me tell him, say, come in at the box and come tell me what is the good to talk. No. You know, so no one set of evil set of people. No evil. Report the channel, say, oh, me nude. Me ever come here naked? No. For sure, no, oh, no bad mind. Yet, you love to talk about people bad mind. So they report the channel each night. Last night they reported, the night before. Saturday night they reported. Hi Blondie, good night. Yeah. So what I say again, let me get back to it. So me definitely not talk about. So I'm gonna play I'm gonna hear Bruce Golding's speech.
New rules are being handed down, not after discussions and negotiation, but by social media post at 2:30 in the morning when most of us are asleep.
Former Prime Minister Bruce Golding is expressing disappointment at the current state of the relationship the U.S. has with Caribbean countries. The former Prime Minister is of the view that the Monroe Doctrine of 1823, which assumes control of the Western Hemisphere by United States, has resurfaced. He also elaborated on the effects these developments are having on the economy.
New tariffs were imposed on us in January of last year. Tariffs on the goods that we export to America. Although America enjoys a huge trade surplus with Jamaica.
Michelle. Don, good night.
What we export to the United States is less than a quarter of what we import.
Mr. Golding also addressed the Jamaica-Cuba Health Cooperation.
Countries and companies that do business with Cuba run the risk of incurring severe penalties. We are being forced to contribute to the strangulation of the Cuban people who have helped us in so many ways.
Meanwhile, Mr. Golding says the country has still not been told about the specific arrangements for how the expected third country nationals will move through the country. He believes Jamaica is not the only country asked to sign this kind of agreement. However, he also says he does not believe that these agreements were entered into joyfully.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio, when he visited Jamaica in March of last year, is only the latest highly placed American official who has boasted of the strong, long-standing bond of friendship between Jamaica and the United States. But let us be very clear. What is being done to us is not friendship. Holding a gun to your head and insisting that you must be reasonable and do things their way, that is not friendship. The United States has put us under severe stress. That's not what friends are for.
Crystal Williams report.
And you know, that's the truth. Friend not put friend under stress. You know, me I look on the show said a man of evil wickedness tonight. Jamaica just gone through hurricane. We just there try to see if we can bounce round and bounce round. Drought come right now. The drought come out. People not talk about it, but the drought I kill out a lot of people. The drought, no water, limitation with water, and all of these things people have to deal with right now. 1 pound of yam, some are selling 500, some are selling 600 a pound. 1 little piece of yam, 1 dozen green banana. People are struggle and suffer. And you are trying to put more problem. And what I say now? I say it already, I say it again. The man now have to do them something what I'm doing now. It's just evil thinking. Evil. Yes, water crisis I come. Luckily not reach me fully yet. Me still get little water now and then me have a black tank where me keep full. Because I say so my son said we need to buy one next black tank. Cause it will get worse. Any rain will start fall. And then we're not out of hurricane season yet. Cause come the peak of the season of September. So anything can happen. So we're in a serious, and I say serious predicament. Anyway,
Crystal Williams reporting.
I want to play this from the Peter Gay came out and put out this today, and I find it really interesting, and I really want you to take a listen to this.
Welcome, Jamaica. Welcome back to Unfiltered. I'm Peter Gay Ferguson. It's time for another edition of Gaslighter. And your Gaslighter of the week is... drum roll! Yes. The government of Jamaica. I know, no surprises here. Because while they keep you distracted, here's what's really happening. It has been 9 months since Hurricane Melissa devastated communities across Jamaica. 9 months since families lost their homes. 9 months since small business owners saw years of hard work washed away. 9 months since communities were promised they would build back stronger. What's the impediment to the Build Back Stronger recovery effort, one might ask? Let's just talk straight and address the elephant in the room. Corruption. Yeah, Jamaica have a serious corruption problem, right? So So today, too many Jamaicans are still waiting.
Hi, Claudette. Good
Waiting
night.
for proper roof over
Born
their heads,
again. Oh,
waiting
Lord.
for
Good night.
assistance, waiting for communities to be rebuilt, waiting for the urgency they were promised. This is the thing. Whenever someone dares to point that out, they're immediately labeled anti-government, anti-progress, or simply bad mind. But let me ask you, how can it be bad mind to ask why families are still waiting? How can it be bad mind to ask where the urgency went? How can it be bad mind to demand accountability for public money and donor support? Listen to me. Put politics aside for a second and think about the actual people who were affected. These people are citizens of Jamaica before you can consider them PNP, JLP, or no P at all. What really is the priority of the government? Now, I need you to help me understand this. It was apparently urgent enough to bypass the Procurement Act to acquire 200 Starlink devices, even though 700 Starlink devices had already been donated. So, what I mean for tell me, say, there wasn't enough urgency to rebuild homes. There wasn't enough urgency to repair schools. There wasn't enough urgency to help struggling small businesses. There wasn't enough urgency to restore the communities Hurricane Melissa ravaged. So, what exactly was the emergency? The people suffering or the procurement? Then we move on to the Support Jamaica controversy. ADPEM says Amber never controlled the donor funds. ADPEM says it remained the data controller. Yet, we're also being told governance gaps have been identified and corrective action has been ordered. Remember, this is the same company that controlled the data for Jam COVID, where over 500,000 people's personal data, travel info, medical records, etc. was leaked. But we allowed for people's credit card, banking info addresses, and personal info to be controlled by them. Oh, okay. So if everything was handled properly, why was corrective action necessary? If governance arrangements were sound, why did they need correcting? If everything was above board, why did it take public scrutiny for these issues to come to light? And here's another question. How many controversies, how many procurement questions, how many governance issues before the government ask whether Jamaica's own technology sector deserves a chance? Because are we seriously expected to believe that a country producing world-class software developers, engineers, cybersecurity professionals, and digital entrepreneurs has no one capable of delivering national technology projects? Or is it simple that the opportunities keep finding the same people? Because we know Jamaica has talent, Jamaica has innovation, Jamaica has expertise. So why does it always seem like the same names? And finally, the Jamaican people donated, the diaspora donated, the international community donated. Not so headlines could be written, not so press conferences could be held. They donated because they believed help would reach the people in need. So 9 months later, where's the urgency? Because urgency shouldn't stop after a contract is signed. Urgency shouldn't stop after a media release. Urgency should end when every Jamaican affected has been given a fair chance to recover. Until then, the questions won't stop. This has been Unfiltered. I'm Peter Gay Ferguson. Until next time.
Good question there. Real question. But then I want nobody to ask. No question. Ain't I ask question? Roxy, good evening. Your bad mind. Your bad mind. Your bad mind. If you ever ask a question, your bad mind. You're political. So you can't say nothing if you just keep up your mouth shut. Just sit down and just watch the ride. Watch the ride. Anyway, today, Donna Scott Motley did us proud, representing the opposition leader.
Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, the Most Honorable Juliet Honus, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Senator the Honorable Tom Tavares Finson, President of the Senate, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, members of the House of Representatives and the Senate, members of the Diplomatic Corps, our visitors from Ghana, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and I cannot neglect the judiciary on this occasion. Madam Speaker, there are visits that mark diplomacy. There are visits that mark friendship. And there are visits that remind us of who we are. And this is such one
Thank you,
today.
Colonel.
It is my honor and my privilege to join this honorable House in welcoming His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, to the Parliament of Jamaica. We welcome you, the President of Ghana, but we also welcome a people with whom we have shared a journey for centuries. Our ancestors stood upon the shores of Ghana. They walked through the door of no return. History gave it that name. It was meant to mark an ending, the ending of a homeland, the ending of people, the ending of hope. But history does not always belong to those who write it. Our ancestors crossed an ocean, but they did not cross out memory. They crossed an ocean, but they did not cross out identity. They crossed an ocean, but they did not cross out hope. They carried with them songs that became our music. They carried rhythms that still beat in our hearts. They carried traditions that found new life in Jamaica. They carried faith that sustained generations. They carried an unbreakable spirit that no chain could bind and no ocean could drown. They left the shores of Ghana, but Ghana never left them. It lives in our culture, it lives in our language, it lives in our communities, it lives in us. Madam Speaker, history has a remarkable way of completing its circles. When Ghana emerged as the first independent nation in sub-Saharan Africa, it chose as its symbol at the center of its flag the Black Star, inspired by Marcus Garvey's vision of the Black Star Line, a Jamaican dream that has become part of Ghana's national identity. How fitting that a dream born in Jamaica should become a symbol of African freedom. How fitting that the story which began in Africa should return, not in chains, but in triumph. Our nations, Mr. President, are connected not only by memory, but by purpose. Madam Speaker, Ghana has not confined itself to remembering history. It is helping to shape it. Your country's leadership at the United Nations in advancing the recognition of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade as crimes against humanity marked a significant moment in the international pursuit of justice. It affirmed for us that this is not merely a question of memory or morality, but one of international law, human dignity, and the continuing consequences of one of history's great injustices. Today, you, President Mahama, you have renewed that leadership through the establishment of the Global Advisory Council on Reparatory Justice, on which 3 prominent Caribbean leaders sit. Our own Prime Minister Andrew Holness, Prime Minister Mia Mottley, and Dr. Ralph Gonsalves have been called to your service. Madam Speaker, I hope that President Mahama's presence here will also inspire us to reflect on our own unfinished journey towards full sovereignty. As we speak of reparatory justice and the enduring legacy of colonialism, may we find the courage to complete our own journey from monarchy to republic and to embrace the Caribbean Court of Justice.
Roxy.
If we are serious about reclaiming our history, asserting our sovereignty, and shaping our own future, then surely we must have the courage to do so fully. May this visit remind us that the journey from Africa to the Caribbean did not end with emancipation or independence. It continues in the work of building nations that are fully sovereign, confident in their identity, and masters of their own destiny.
I love my people, oh, they're brilliant. I love my people, oh, they're brilliant.
Caribbean poet, Kamau Brathwaite, whose years in Ghana transformed his understanding of the Caribbean, taught us that Africa was never a place from which we came. It is a part of who we are. Perhaps this is why this visit feels so deeply significant. For today, the descendants of those who left Ghana welcome the President to the Parliament of Jamaica.
Well done. Well, I just love my people. I just love my people. I just love my people. You see, when my people go on the platform to speak with intellect, emphasis, and energy, I'm going to go up on the website.
Presence here is especially meaningful.
We want to hear what the African man him say.
Welcome, Mr. Kwaba. I'm sure these are simple words that we've shared over our
Patrick
history.
and Dana Whitaker.
Aside from that, I was a 3-term member of Parliament, so I feel very comfortable in the chambers of Parliament. Right Honourable Prime Minister, Dr. Andrew Holness, Right Honourable Speaker, Juliet Holness, President of the Senate, Right Honourable Tom Taveras, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Right Honourable Members of Parliament, it is with profound humility and a deep sense of history that I stand before you, this distinguished joint sitting of the Parliament of Jamaica, to thank you sincerely for the exceptional honor of addressing this August Assembly during my state visits to Jamaica. I bring you warm fraternal greetings from the government and people of the Republic of Ghana, your brothers and sisters across the Atlantic Ocean. I also bring the goodwill of an entire continent that regards Jamaica not merely as another friendly nation, but as an indispensable member of our wider African family. Our gathering here today is much more than a diplomatic engagement. It is a reunion of history. It's a celebration of our shared heritage and a reaffirmation that although the Atlantic Ocean may separate our shores, it can never diminish the bonds that unite our people. The relationship between Ghana and Jamaica is unlike many others in the community of nations. It was not forged by treaties alone. It was forged through shared sacrifice, sustained by resilience, and strengthened by a common belief in freedom, justice, and human dignity. Today, as Jamaica commemorates Emancipation Day and celebrates the 64th anniversary of independence, Ghana joins you in honoring the remarkable journey of a proud people whose courage, creativity, and resilience continues to inspire the whole of Africa, the Caribbean, and the global African diaspora. And Ghana is proud to have been among the first countries to recognize the newly independent nation in 1962. Emancipation Day and Independence Day are not simply national celebrations. They are enduring symbols of humanity's determination to overcome oppression and reclaim dignity. They remind us that even in the darkest chapters of history, nothing can extinguish the human spirit. The story of Jamaica is in many respects the story of Africa. It began in the great civilizations of our continent, the Empire of Ghana, Mali, Songhai, Great Zimbabwe, Buganda, Ashanti, Moshi, Benin, Ile-Ife, and many others. And this is before millions of Africans were forcibly taken across the Atlantic, endured the horrors of the Middle Passage, survived the brutality of enslavement, but found hope in communities in the New World that refused to surrender their identity, their faith, or their humanity. Against unimaginable odds, our ancestors preserved their cultures, their traditions, and their belief in freedom. They resisted oppression in countless ways, ensuring that future generations would inherit not despair, but hope. From the Maroon communities in Jamaica to the liberation movements that swept across Africa, the spirit of resistance of the African endured. And it ultimately gave birth to free nations that were determined to shape their own destinies. Today we honor the enslaved men and women whose labor enriched empires while their humanity was denied them. We honor those who resisted injustice. We honor those who fought for emancipation, self-determination, and national liberation. And we honor the generations whose sacrifice secured the freedoms that we enjoy today. Their courage reminds us that freedom is never given on a silver platter. It is earned through sacrifice. It is sustained by vigilance and is strengthened by unity. As we honor our shared past, we must also confront it with honesty and courage. History cannot be changed, but it can be acknowledged. And only by acknowledging historical truth can we build a future that is founded on reconciliation, justice, and mutual respect. As was recently reaffirmed by the United Nations General Assembly, the transatlantic slave trade and the racialized chattel enslavement of Africans was the gravest crime committed against humanity. The consequences of this grave crime did not end with abolition. The consequences continue even today to shape the patterns of inequality and exclusion that have persisted across our world. For this reason, we must remain steadfast in advancing the global conversation on reparatory justice. Our pursuit of reparatory justice is not motivated by resentment or hostility or a desire to revisit old wounds. It is inspired by our commitment to the truth, to accountability, to reconciliation, and to healing. It seeks recognition of historical wrongs, acknowledgement of their enduring consequences, and a collective determination to build a more just and equitable global order. In this regard, permit me to express Ghana's profound appreciation to the government and people of Jamaica for your unwavering support to Ghana's initiative at the United Nations, which culminated in the adoption of Resolution ARES/80/250, and for your invaluable contribution to the Accra Next Steps Conference on Reparatory Justice. Jamaica has provided principled leadership on this important issue for many years. Together, our two nations are ensuring that the descendants of those who suffered history's greatest injustice are neither forgotten or denied a voice in shaping a fairer world. Our advocacy is ultimately about hope. Hope that our future generations will inherit a world in which historical truth is acknowledged, human dignity is upheld, and justice becomes the foundation for lasting reconciliation. And that is the vision that continues to unite Ghana and Jamaica. It is a vision worthy of our ancestors. It is a vision to which we remain unwaveringly committed. I wish to also reiterate my message to the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Jamaica, Dr. Andrew Holness, yesterday, that Ghana fully supports the petition on slavery Jamaica proposes to soon submit to King Charles III. Right Honorable Prime Minister, Madam Speaker,
Angelo frightened when the man
Right
said
Honorable President, honorable members, while we must never forget the injustices of history, neither must we allow them to imprison us. The story of people of African descent is not simply one of suffering. It is equally a story of resilience, excellence, and enduring achievement. It is a story of civilizations that advanced human knowledge, of freedom fighters who challenged oppression, of innovators who expanded the frontiers of science and technology, of artists whose creativity enriched global culture, and of statesmen and women who inspired nations to believe in the possibilities of freedom and self-determination. Few countries have contributed to this legacy I described more profoundly than Jamaica. The land that gave the world the visionary leadership of the Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, whose call for black pride, self-reliance, and African unity awakened the consciousness of millions across Africa and the diaspora. His ideas inspired generations of Pan-African leaders, including our own founding father, President Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who admitted in many of his writings that he drew strength from Garvey's vision in leading Ghana to independence and championing the liberation and unity of the African continent. The Pan-African movement itself is a testament to the inseparable bonds between Africa and the Caribbean. It was nurtured not only by Africans, but also by distinguished Caribbean sons and daughters, among them the great Trinidadian Pan-Africanist George Padmore, who made Ghana his home and worked side by side with President Nkrumah in advancing the cause of African liberation and unity. These towering figures remind us that the freedom of Africa and the Caribbean has always been a shared enterprise. Jamaica has also given humanity the timeless message of Bob Marley, whose music transcends borders. And whose voice became a universal anthem for freedom, justice, and human dignity. Through your writers, musicians, athletes, and creative talents, Jamaica has projected a cultural influence far beyond its size and has enriched the heritage of the global African family. In Ghana, across the Atlantic, we've never regarded these achievements as Jamaica's alone. We have celebrated them as victories for all people of African descent. Today, although we live under different flags and may speak with different accents, we remain united by a common heritage and an interconnected destiny. The challenge before us is therefore clear. We must transform our shared history into shared purpose. We must move beyond sentiments and build partnerships that create opportunity, expand prosperity, and improve the lives of our people.
Hi, Patrick.
And as our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, reminded us, and I quote, he says, the forces that unite us are intrinsic and greater than the superimposed influences that keep us apart. Those words speak as powerfully to us today as they did at the dawn of African liberation. Now our generation must secure economic transformation, scientific advancement, and technological leadership. As Bob Marley famously reminds us, emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. The liberation of the African mind remains one of the defining tasks of our generation. It demands confidence in our own institutions. It demands belief in our own capabilities and an unwavering commitment to accountability and excellence. Above all, it requires that our young people see themselves not as descendants of slaves, but as heirs to greatness and architects of an even greater future. Madam Speaker, Right Honorable President, honorable members, the 21st century presents Africa and the Caribbean with an historic opportunity. Africa is home to the world's youngest, fastest growing population, possesses immense natural resources, and is becoming rapidly a growing center of innovation and enterprise. The Caribbean and Jamaica continue to exercise global leadership on climate justice, sustainable development, democracy, and multilateral cooperation. And most of all, Jamaica presents a gateway to the larger American and Caribbean areas. Together, these two regions possess enormous human talent, cultural influence, and economic potential. History has connected us, and the future now calls upon us to work together with greater ambition. We must strengthen cooperation between African Union and the CARICOM. We must deepen our collaboration within the United Nations and other multilateral institutions. We must coordinate our positions on issues that will define the future of humanity. Whether the challenge is climate change, reform of the international financial architecture, food security, public health, or digital transformation, our voices will carry greater weight if we speak together. The partnership between Africa and the Caribbean should therefore no longer defined only by our shared past, but also by our shared future. It should be recognized for the future we are determined to build together. It is this conviction that inspired me to call the Accra Reset Conference recently. The Accra Reset reflects our belief that institutions governing the world must...
Now, some of y'all listen and understand what I'm going, so let me explain it. Them want Billa, what you call it now? A group of people for take, for sue England, for some repatriations. This one read the phone. Alright, Jim, good night.
Good night, people. Good night, Mr.
God is good. How you doing? Go on talking. No, better talk about the whole thing with them have to call the parliament to like a state visit with this. Listen, Marcus Garvey will be proud of this repatriation. Yeah. I don't think they're going to win. I don't believe they're going to win them up at UK.
Who, Miss Jen? Who else who? Jamaica to UK?
No, they're going to come together. Ghana.
What that money do to Jamaica a long time now?
Oh,
is it reparation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, reparation.
It's due to Jamaica for Jamaica a long time, but it belongs to the people, it don't belong to the government.
Yes,
and but... want to go and take it.
But you know...
But hold on the little Jim, let me ask a question. So if them pay the repatriation, the people can go back to Ghana? If they want, answer a question.
Well, there's a difference between repatriation and reparation, you know. But you're talking about repatriation.
Yeah, repatriation.
Okay.
So what they going to what them are going to sue with the British them for?
The man
I
that
don't know what they need. Reparations.
That way, me understand them about reparation.
Yeah, but when the British has left Jamaica, for example, with a strong legacy in education, manufacturing, and I mean, we have seen civilization before parts of the USA.
Yeah.
So what our modern politicians have done with this country, rather than to ravage the economy and close down manufacturing companies, they have enriched themselves and the people have been left in abject poverty.
Yeah.
Any kind of money that these corrupt countries get, they steal the monies for themselves instead of distributing it to the people.
That is true. I agree with you with that. I agree.
And these politicians, they are not trustworthy. Any attempt by Jamaica, for example, with Babsy Grange going to Britain to demand reparation, I think that the people of Jamaica and the opposition should send a strong message to King Charles that they should block any attempt by this corrupt regime that is strongly involved in illicit enrichment to handle any form of reparation on behalf of the people of Jamaica.
100%, Jim. I agree, 100%.
You know what? We're going to take you out of the fridge.
These people, this administration is the most cold-hearted I've ever seen. Can you imagine containerized homes for the people of Westmoreland? The people would need their houses to be reconstructed so that it can accommodate their specific kinds of families. Right? You need sustainable development for the community. And this man, Andrew Holness, has embarked on a program that gives us no value for money. Containerized homes.
But
where is he going with that? I think that the people should come out and protest immediately, and the opposition should demand
Jim.
that they cease and desist from installing any more of those homes because they are not real homes and they do not fit in the community.
Well, and Jim, me and you go differ and many more PNP, because me a little different kind of person from everybody else. Me like to see me like to point out a point and we not must agree, right?
Well,
but we are going to agree, but we're not going to make that. Well, I know, Jim, we're not going to make that.
I just want to say that the people should have received those monies to reconstruct their roofs or one room or whatever addition that could be placed on their previous homes.
You're right.
It's not the duty of the government to centralize homes, centralize the issuing of homes, and these are not homes. What they are doing is that they are putting up a contractor to make millions of dollars in US, and politicians will get kickbacks from it. That's not the way it is done. Even if it's NHT money, you know, they have raided the NHT 29 million US dollars, you know, in this containerized home investment. And I can tell you, it's going to go down as one of the most corrupt activity by the Andrew Holness administration. So I am not against the issuing of homes or repairs of homes, but not containerized homes.
But you remember,
containerized homes are temporary accommodation when, like, construction sites, where buildings are being constructed and workmen have nowhere to go, or they live far away from where the project is going on, and they need temporary accommodation.
But hold on now. Give me a chance. Give me a chance. Let me say
one hurricane come and that gone.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Make we be reasonable here tonight. And I remember after the hurricane, who was the person who come out about give people container house? Let us be reasonable here tonight. Let me say if you're not reasonable. Let me say if you're not member, and I want to talk the truth. Who came up first with the argument about buy container house? Give the people container house? Oh, no, remember?
Auntie Jen, anybody who comes up with that doesn't respect the people, or probably they didn't think through the issue properly. Probably it was just an impromptu response instead of a response that was well thought out.
No whole heap of house now give out, just a photocopy of all of that. But it was Dayton Campbell who came out when the house said it was a quick measure to put back people under a little shelter. And Darrell Valls came out and said, yes, them are going to go up on the wharf and go try to get the container them so that the people them couldn't do it. Then we hear them come out back and say them are going to buy 5,000 or 500. I don't remember if it's 5,500 of the container out. And I think they say the house. But I'm going to tell you something, Jim, you don't know. You know the house then come and die a long time and I sell out to a whole heap of people when I get damaged. That's true because the whole story I bust out now. And that's why you see them run and I jam up something for make it look. So you not even know the whole story of this whole thing here. But me just want to be reasonable. Because me remember that one PMP did come up with the argument say the container also that be a little quick remedy. I don't know if it was for long term or whatever, but so I don't know enough about that. But me personally don't believe that the container house is not the right thing. The price of the hear them I say the container it costs to put up this and put up that. It better them they make up some one room house and get the people there. In my opinion.
Auntie Jane, the Prime Minister is saying one of the containerized homes is $2.5 million.
Yes, I hear
and the real cost is $780,000, and that includes to buy it and ship it to Jamaica, and Jamaica wouldn't have to pay any shipment because it can waive that at the wharf.
Well, him come out today and says because I can find back him when he said today because I was listening to him. I can find him and play it. Why him say come up to that money? Make me gonna hear. I'm not gonna hear and say. When speech we make today, him say the reason for the cost is because they have to make the sewage and the electrical part of it and the place to put it down pan and all of that come up to 2.5. We can't even find back a clip. That's what him said. We can't find it. But that's
Auntie Jane, it can be that the cost for amenities would cost the original price to be more than double. Impossible.
Impossible. But I'm going to tell you what I'm saying.
Let me tell you something, man. Jamaica will never be better unless some of these politicians are arrested. You put on the handcuff on them and put them in a jail cell. No bail until trial and a decision is made.
I agree.
Nothing will ever change in Jamaica. Poor people will continue to suffer the pangs of hell because there is nobody in power looking out for their interests.
I agree.
These people have ravaged our economy, destroy our families. This, what I'm seeing now, is total indignity. You can't expect to promote good family lifestyle and put people in this situation. And if Dr. Dayton Campbell had suggested it, it would have been in a temporary form.
Exactly.
Not permanent. Because I can easily understand what Dr. Campbell was saying. Dr. Campbell was saying, listen, hurricane, a category 5 hurricane requires urgent relief, right? And that would have been temporary shelter, probably for a few weeks, but not for families to permanently live in.
Well, Isaac, but can I come out and look against it so it got turn trailer park?
yes, these places, they will harbor insects.
And guess what happens? When the sun pep through it, people them gonna boil up in that.
Yeah, you're going to need air condition, and where
not
are the
planting.
poor people
Most of them
in that
can't pay
rural
like me
part
with air
of Jamaica
condition.
are going to get air conditioning unit and to pay those exorbitant JPS bills?
Exactly, and JPS keep on turning off the light. Can my friend call me and tell me, say, oh, light turn off yesterday and today again. That's raising an have usually. That's ridiculous.
Me have 1 billion for 35,000.
You understand?
Let me tell you something, man. It's a clandestine and surreptitious deal by the government. You realize that there was no public tender?
Not at all.
It should be investigated immediately by the Auditor General. But more so, the opposition should call for immediate halt of this project, because the people, $2.5 million could be given to families to reconstruct their homes or to
Jim,
add an extra room.
I think that's a
You know
hard.
what, my friend?
Hold on,
You don't
hold
want to
on,
give them
hold
that
on.
money.
Hold on, God is good. I think that's a very hard thing for the opposition to do. Halt it. It going to cause problem. You're going to hear say, oh, the opposition don't want the people then forget house.
That's
And look
what
how
I
long the
was gonna
people then.
say.
Yes.
That's
That
what I
ever
was gonna
happen.
say.
And the labor right them are going to take you and say PMP not good. They still want the people then to stay. So it's a tickle. It's sort of.
I understand that part, but I can tell you that the people of Westmoreland, they are not comfortable with this at all.
But let me say something, I won't be long. Just one thing. This is the government, Andrew and his government. If they're not making money off something, they're not doing it. And because them make, everything them have to make money half of. Him now go no about no 2.5 million. Him, because him feel like it's too much for them. You understand?
I realize.
They have to make money. Him now give them that, say, God
But
give
say somebody just put it on I think an overtime. So the host them is for 266 US in China, or 288. And them would get discount.
Said something very important a while ago, that the reason Andrew Holness would be delivering these homes is because he can have full control and also access to the money.
Exactly.
But remember, say I'm a minister of housing, you know. I'm a housing. I'm a minister of housing.
The facts remain. The parents that don't do nothing unless they're getting kickbacks. That government is not evil government. It's about the money film. They don't do nothing unless they're getting kickbacks.
But didn't you see the video footage where the Prime Minister went down there and you saw 5 containerized homes? You didn't see the indignity of it. When you look at the outside, does that look like something that family should live in?
But and they come fall up to, you know.
Let me tell you something, man. This Prime Minister Andrew Holness is treating the people like pigs and goats, because no human being should be living in those places. None whatsoever. And I am very serious about it. The people down there should reject the Prime Minister's corrupt offer and ask for those monies to be channeled to them individually.
Nah, do it.
To repair their homes or to add an extra room.
Listen, man, you know some man not gonna do that. You know that, you know?
It is not his money.
He's not going to do it, but you know say he's not going to do it. You know, say you know that way you say you know him not going to do that. Please.
What he has done is that he has put this contract into one person's hand, and I'm telling you, it should be disclosed who has received that contract. Because I can tell you that it's loaded with criminality. Who is the co-chair of Hurricane Melissa Recovery Fund? That $1.44 billion that you haven't heard anything more about.
Thank you, sir. And
it could be the same man who is helping to implement that project.
Exactly, and turn around tax, putting tax on the taxi man like a crazy left, right, and center.
Of course.
Because guess what happened? Remember, no, I don't cut him my friend. In this say no, he must go on 5 more years.
Yeah, about it from today overtime.
He say he must go on 5 more years for him grand picnic, so that's what he's doing now. Trust me, they are wicked and God will get them very soon.
But they could have built up back boardhouse, give them. They would have better off. Build them a one-room boardhouse with one bathroom and give them. And you know, cost 2.5 million.
But these containerized homes are one-bedroom units.
Well, him say you can call it a studio.
It can't work, Auntie Jen. Remember, you have all sort of families, you know. We have extended families, right? We have what you call common law families.
But me not think
medium
long term.
and large families. Each family should be offered a facility that is in relation to their situation.
Because
you can't be issuing one-bedroom units to everybody who has been destroyed by Hurricane Melissa.
Some of them used to live in a 3 and 4 bedroom gym. Can you imagine? Some of them used to live in a 3 and 4 bedroom.
Hold on, though. I'm not going to agree tonight. There's no way, though. The government could afford it, though, if give back everybody with their loss.
Auntie Jen?
Better say help them repair back them place.
Yes, that is the way to go, Auntie Jen. And I am telling you, if I were Dr. Dayton Campbell, I would be demanding that this project been put to a halt.
On a film constituency in go yesterday, you know, I think Dwayne Vaz constituency that, you know.
Well, I saw him and Dr. Dayton Campbell, so probably he went to both, right? And I saw him with
he went to both.
Also.
He went to both. He never got Ayaniel, but he got Vaz and Campbell.
Right, so I'm saying, man, the proper way is for these people to get the monies to repair their homes. That is the only way.
Some of the people that have baby, you know, because in a hurricane when I go down there, some of them have a young baby. So that those baby now that be about 9-10 months. Some of them are go up to a year now. So little babies have to go in at that. I mean, I know them are going to manage if they can't put
that. Some of them have teenagers too and like big toddler. Them can't sleep in a one room, everybody. Huh? That's crazy.
Well, them have to go all bungalow up in there, you know, because then them another thing too. Sure.
You can knock up some boardhouse give people them, man.
Better them in back up boardhouse give them.
Better off and sandash the outside.
Then have to sandash nothing.
I make the foundation strong and firm.
Fling paint panic.
Sometimes the boardhouse can withstand the hurricane better than this absent thing.
Yeah, but what if a boardhouse withstand it down the tree, you know?
Yeah, man.
It depends on which part them in there. Some of them there. Because concrete houses stand blow down there, you know.
You can't realize that.
Yeah, because then they make up good. Because you have some house where they're on the seaside and they stand up to the wind and go the roof, them come out.
Some of them make put hurricane strip on them thing when them build them house.
Direct to the seaside and the structure stand up and just the roof them blow off.
So how many homes the people should get in Westmoreland? Because my understanding is that only 5 have been installed already.
Yeah, because from the time I got 10 or something, remember Dwayne Vazin come out and tell me about it, you know. Say about 10 or the something they may finish. So then I done finish, you know, you see a photocopy that now and show everybody. Nothing more than I done for now.
I want Jamaicans to look at the video clips the Prime Minister showed yesterday of himself in Westmoreland. And I can tell you, it's an awful sight. It looks worse than when the hurricane blew. Because I can tell you, just the thought of giving people containerized homes is the most despicable thing that a prime minister could ever thought about and execute. But it is to get them richer. 29 million US dollars drawing down from NHT. I remember the government took what, $11.6 billion a few months ago for budgetary support.
And the budget still run short.
Oh yes. The balance of payment deficit is massive right now. Billions of dollars the government is short of. So the government is broke and the politicians are extremely wealthy.
Yeah.
extracted all of our resources and left the people in severe circumstances that many years to come we will not get out of this mess that Andrew Holness has put us into. Can you imagine when NHT was formed that it would ever thought of giving people containerized homes? Never ever. And this is where we have reached under Andrew Holness.
But the labor, right? They must sing Hallelujah. You see them on TikTok with it. See the best thing ever happened to the people them at Westmoreland. Because some of them there are not toilet and Andrew go and get them bathroom.
Let me tell you something. Jamaicans have some of the best contractors, best masons, best carpenters, best craftsmen. The Master Builders Association of Jamaica will tell you that they have the capacity to build thousands of homes. We are not short of that labor. I tell you, let us dig deeper into who received this contract to provide containerized homes to the people of Western Jamaica. And when you found out, I bet you that corruption is involved. I bet you that criminality is involved.
But we don't have to ask that the question. We never have to seek out for that. We know who we are dealing with. I think sensible Jamaican know what we are up against. We don't have to ask. We don't have to ask.
Jim, the man say, you forgot him say, he want 5 more years him going to him say only 5 more years him want. You see me don't retire but him change his mind.
That's how we show.
Yeah, we set up people. You know how we Mr. Jim, I not call them name.
I heard that he hasn't gone back to West Portland these days because he said that this is his last term and he doesn't need to give the people anything up there. He can enjoy himself
I guess
without doing his job as a member of parliament. This guy,
them voting in. Nah, Jesus.
No, but you know, so I'm not blame him. You see, it's sardine and the rice and they sit them at the grocery, them in a take. The man pay for him vote, them man. So then I not more forget now. I look back if I find him on my platform to put him up. I mean, I have no Andrew Holness to put up. Over then there.
And that's why, Jim, that's why me say, I look further down the road. That's why me say, yeah, you hear me, Jim?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
That's why me say, you see I can't tell them the 4th election, they're going to try to steal it too. Because they're suffering the people right now. They're not care because they have their plan of win again. But the opposition not to sit down complacent and make it happen. They're gonna try to take the election electronic. You understand what I mean? They're gonna do that.
More control now, They have more power than the last election,
Alright, thank you, Jim. Thank you. So the opposition them can sit them back down and don't try figure out some way for international help. We don't forget to not seek it.
That now go help.
Because trust me, as far as all them people here move, me get to realize say them not care one vote for them next time because them don't have them plan how to win that. You understand me I say? Watch out and see if you think that Joe. God can't move that them people here, man. God alone himself. Because the man have put in something there. Yes, and then the people them now speak about one thing, then them stop. They need to speak about this election rigging. They need to live on it. I mean, they know that we know how the election was rigged.
Right, let me tell you what I think them a plan for do. Them a go put in machine for vote. Them a go use the same man who work for them. And then when you think say you vote PMP, you go on to JLP.
But the opposition them will deal with that. And try to figure out that
then I put in yet,
coming up.
Then I put in here, but this election again was a test run with them,
Thank you.
So that's where it going to go.
So tell me now, what stopped them from...
Let me tell you. Andrew will get stopping in tracks.
Not get stopped, yes. But how long? That take too long.
Donald Trump,
Yeah, yeah.
Donald Trump, you know, say Bruce Golding have to come out at a serious thing
So,
go on.
Bruce Golding say.
Oh, you know, listen to him.
I soon get to Bruce Golding, man. But Antigen, the containerized homes, we need to pay attention to it because Jamaica, you know, is a tropical country, hot heat, sweltering heat. These poor people will be placed in a heat retention, meaning that heat is going to trap in these containerized homes. And there is no provision for high-powered air conditioning. Right? So these are hot boxes. And I'm telling you something. Based upon my understanding, not even goats and pigs should live in these places because of the heat that is in Jamaica. So how are you going to put human beings in those containerized homes? It's not healthy. It's not feasible. It's not sustainable. And it doesn't promote
what I want to find out though,
quality of life for families.
Will the people be allowed to audition on them?
What kind of addition can go on that?
What are you talking about, Miss Jen?
Well, they could have put on one board outside front and use that for the bathroom and the kitchen.
Oh, that can't work, man. Board with metal?
Yes.
Then them have the space.
That's why I say if they can do addition with an add board to the front and use that for the bathroom and the kitchen.
Well, probably them try that. If I feel them land, them can probably try that, yes? If them have the space to land.
Oh, somebody said no, they can't.
But I don't know how down the city yet, you know. I've never been to those places. I'm a Kingston. Yeah.
I go down. I know exactly the spot which part them have built. I go down there in a hurricane 6 times, so I know. And the people that went in at the Petersfield shelter, and them are trying again.
I can tell you that those containerized homes will not be maintained. I mean, within a few months, you will see rust start to gather on them. It can't withstand earthquake. Can't withstand powerful hurricanes.
Not the sea salt, not the salt from the sea, because the sea, they're close. You know the salt that's gonna make it rusty.
Yes.
Read Jim, you know yourself.
Yes.
No man, which part them put them container there near the sea?
It doesn't have to be close, you know.
Where them near is the river when name the river when near Roaring River. It's close to them.
Not river, the sea, because the sea is salty.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, where they put those houses is not near to the sea. I'm telling you, it's up in a Petersfield area. I'm going to tell you something about the river when near Roaring River, they're near them. So it's a little way from the seaside.
But I can tell you that there is nowhere in history whereby containerized homes are used for permanent accommodation. These things are used by soldiers for temporary command posts, field hospital, and temporary barracks, right? It's not to accommodate families. I'm telling you, I'm surprised that I don't have civil society coming out and pointing out all the problems that the government is putting towards the people now with these homes.
So what do you think can be done?
I'm telling you that the money should be routed to the people's bank accounts for them to retrofit their homes.
But them are going to say
that is the only way it can work.
Them are say they're spending money already by the house them.
No, we don't see that as yet, you know. But I'm telling you, man, these are some of the things that civil society should file lawsuit against the government, you know. I see where Holness has filed lawsuit against the Integrity Commission and ministers have followed him. Now the people should file a lawsuit against Andrew Holness, you know, because these containerized homes, not good for community development nor sustainable development. We're not getting value for money. And those are basis to file lawsuit against the government. The Prime Minister does the Prime Minister really, is that the duty of a Prime Minister to make contractors supply people with containerized homes? Isn't it that the NHT should be leading that effort since it's their money being spent? I mean, as an organization, it's NHT's money that the government has drawn down from it, right? So NHT has the expertise and the facilities to do it in a better manner. NHT knows how to build homes. They know how to source contractors. They know how to disperse funds. They know quality for money. They know everything. The Prime Minister cannot remove the NHT, just take the NHT's money and then leave out NHT out of the operation. Something is fundamentally wrong with this transaction. Is it the Prime Minister's business to be laying out containerized homes?
Yes, because
I'm saying if NHT, since it's NHT's money, NHT could be tasked to implement this project and we would get value for money. The Prime Minister should have no hand in this matter. Prime Minister can give the instruction, but the Prime Minister doesn't have any expertise to install containerized homes.
But me never think say them the type of, because the ones them I say after the hurricane a couple people donate, me say Budruk donate a different type of container house from where me see government I do. There were bigger houses, bigger container, 2 bedrooms, some of them. Why me not know? One thing me know the heat will kill them. I can't tell you that. That's the first thing me think about, because me in a concrete house and me a burn up.
No, that's to show you how the man is heartless. Because if you can put people in those homes,
are the same?
Then it shows that the Prime Minister and Daryl Vaz and those guys, they are very cruel, you know. They are heartless. They have no mercy for the Jamaican people. Because I wouldn't put my animals in them. You can't put animals or human beings in those highly dense containers. It stores heat rapidly. And when the heat is trapped, it doesn't move. It can't operate, you know, without high-powered air conditioning, you know. And I can bet you that the government will not give them that. And even if you give somebody an air conditioning unit, it has to be maintained frequently. It absorbs electricity. Come on, man. This is shameful.
And then not only that, he make it look like he's helping the people, and he's not. You know, me can't tell the man. I don't like to hate people, but come on. He's not helping the people to make the world believe that you're trying to believe that you're helping the people. You're not doing nothing for the poor. Yeah. If you was helping the people, you wouldn't have going around mashing down their houses. You understand what I mean? You have no respect for the people of the country. Just because of what? Investors.
But I see him thinking them a plan for to give people them a priority too.
You know, guess what? There's a pattern, you know. The whole school bus scandal, $1.4 billion. And most of those buses, I don't see them anymore.
They all live about the place, then broke down and mash up.
Is it that these containerized homes will be soon abandoned when the people realize that it's not fit and proper for human consumption or accommodation?
Exactly.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
And based upon why you think Andrew Holness gave Daryl Vaz a super ministry? Probably it's 3 or 4 ministries in one.
Yeah.
And he also made him co-chair, you know.
They're making poor
for
share.
Hurricane Melissa Recovery Fund, the monies that we can't get a hold of. The Auditor General said there is no infrastructural framework for the money to be spent. In other words, there is no planned purpose for the money. Where is the money?
They corrupt by doing it. We don't think about it, you know.
Let me tell you something, man. You see, SSL, same minister behind the SSL.
Okay,
This guy is a mega billionaire. You realize his last name is now on SSL's office building on Hope Road that value over $300 million.
Wow.
A crime-riddled property, right? Usain Bolt would have been fleeced of billions of dollars. Whole people.
So what
I remember this old lady.
So what? Buy the property?
By what? It
So
was
what name of the
transferred. It was transferred to his daughter-in-law as a gift.
Yeah, but
No,
remember I saw it.
nothing ago, so that's
Yeah,
a
man,
lie.
I remember I
No,
saw
We
it.
know who is the real owner,
My
man.
God.
Her
Wow.
name is a young lady, you know. She's 20 years. She can't even pay the taxes for that property. Right? Let me tell you something, man.
Mighty God.
You know, this guy would have stopped the residents of East Portland, he and his wife, from entering the Blue Lagoon property. They have put security guards up there. Those guys used to entertain tourists, the rafters. They used to make money to send their children to school, right? They used to live good out of that facility. And my understanding is that he has one of the biggest properties up there now with a helicopter landing pad and boat dock.
Yeah,
These guys are living richer than businessmen in New York City.
True.
Right? And my understanding is that they have extended their tentacles to Miami Bay Center and beachfront properties. Mansions in South Florida. While people continue to suffer
the country.
more than
the country like a crazy.
More than
No, man.
half of Jamaicans cannot find basic food on a daily basis to eat. So when people talking about reparation, man, I hope when Babsy Grange goes to England to seek reparation, I hope that the British police will hold on to him for extortion. I hope they will hold on to her and find some criminal charges to institute against her.
I beg you second that.
Because their motive, what they want is that the British government to facilitate fraud, and that is not going to happen. You think the British government doesn't know that Jamaica is a country that sucks the lifeblood out of its people? The British would have known the wealth that they left behind in Jamaica. They would have known the educational standard, the health system that they left behind, and look what our Jamaican politicians have done. Probably one of the worst things we have ever done was to receive independence in 1962.
Yes.
But probably the monarch, found out that Jamaica is prone to a lot of corruption and they didn't want to play a hand in it any further. So they offloaded the burden. Because the British, they didn't argue about it, Remember that when Jamaica got independence, the British signed it over to them and said, yes, we agree. They didn't fight the issue one bit. It seems as if they were happy to have
right now if they never say them get them so-called independence. Because where's the independence, brother? They were better off when England was in the control, don't it?
Babsy Grange going for reparation. Can you imagine?
I want them arrested and put on the bank.
I know say Andrew not send her, Andrew go though.
Money them want. And money them want. What them want so much money for do? For run local government election?
But don't forget, you know, that Audrey Marks would have asked the American government, you know, to send 10,000 TCN to Jamaica. You know, that's the highest number yet that any country has negotiated or asked for. When we do the calculation, it amounts to 100 billion Jamaican dollars in total for 10,000 TCNs.
Yes, let me ask the question, where am I doing so much money? What is going on?
And don't forget that the government said that the countries that will be offered these TCN are shithole countries, corrupt governments, that they will just give them the money. They don't need any accountability. So it is like a slush fund now for the government to enjoy, for politicians to steal, while these people would have been offloaded in our country, and some of them will live here permanently.
Oh, I
But
see.
they went there to take this deal to impress the Trump administration because the Prime Minister and some of his ministers are highly compromised. So they want to cut a deal that would put them in good standing with the USA.
Andrew, good night.
See him, son. See him, son,
Ocean
brother, them
Ray.
compromise. And them no want to get locked up here. Yes. Them no want to get locked up here.
You know, they have enriched themselves with Chinese corrupt money, you know.
True.
Lot of corruption the Chinese went on with in Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
And I can tell you that a substantial amount of monies that these politicians possess are from the Chinese nationals.
And you see all the wharf there, where them control, you know much things that come through there, so, hey.
So now, because the American government knows about what Andrew Holness has done with the Chinese, he wants to offer the olive branch to the US government now by pouring in 10,000 TCNs on the people of Jamaica. So this deal has nothing to do with the benefit of Jamaicans, you know. It is solely to put Andrew Holness in a good position with the Trump administration. Nothing else.
You have a good point. You have a good point. You have a good point. So that's why
But
I
the
have
people
bow.
will
I have
suffer.
bow.
And I can tell you, under the Nationality Immigration Act, Dr. Horace Chang has a lot of powers where immigration is concerned. He can give people passport, he can give them temporary stay, he can give grant asylum. He has a lot of powers.
Without going to court?
Of course.
Wow.
Jamaica immigration is different from American
Them have to go
immigration.
court, man. I just have to decide that.
A judge decide that, me no know.
You not judge.
No, Jim, me no think him can just give, sir.
No, man. You can't. Judge have to decide that, man.
He has a lot of powers.
You're right, Andrew.
But not the powers there.
So you are saying
As a
that,
judge.
well, you could be right, yeah? Everything working in this country. Yeah.
And the film government, for real.
Yeah,
But
so-
I think, say, the opposition do have to get involved. So therefore, it have to go to court through a judge. They were supposed to do them something without the opposition, no, Mr. John. You know that, Jim?
Me know, so a lot of things they do, but them push it up. You just them a try cut out the opposition them out of something, and a cut out the municipal corporation. That's them one spend all the money. That's what Nara about, you know. So that's a Nara will take up 250 million oversight of the Heritage Dam expansion. Wanna see that headline?
I know what point them that teach the money in the country, okay, it wasn't bad enough. But them a teach the money in the country mash up. Look for all the hospital them.
And the road them.
And the road them.
After the
In
come off by the fancy
I
highway.
in a tropical country. I wish tropical country can withstand a high-rising building. I'm crazy.
Me sleepy, Andrew, me son got my bed when me done. Me have the next 15 more minutes.
Oh, I forget to go sleep early.
Me say me wake up late this morning. I'm telling you I got my bed early last night. And me tell you I get a sleep last night.
That's nice.
Mm.
But Jim can't finish that.
Me drink meringue tea, man. Me drink meringue this morning tea, you know. Me drink meringue tomorrow again. Me drink meringue for 1 week straight.
Oh, you boil the bush?
Yeah, me boil the bush.
A good bush.
And me fi tell you. And me fi tell you about meringue. Me love meringue just because of understanding so the meringue calm my nerves. The meringue carry down high cholesterol too. Yeah. We have to stop eating junk them though. But it good, man. And you see the Indian them? They cook up the meringue tea, you know. Cook up the green leaf.
Really?
Yes. They cook it up like callaloo.
Is a fruit or a vegetable?
One tree will look nearly like tambourine.
Oh.
I go for a dry one and I have a show you.
Them sell the powder over here now. In America, them sell the powder, but I don't know why mix up it. So I buy them something because you buy them something at Jamaica from the farm or something.
Well, yes, the court will play a role in asylum, but I can tell you that the minister has a lot of powers to maneuver
Yeah, I know, and the
situation concerning peace.
Understand? And incorporated by.
See it here, you can't see it here. So I look here.
I can't see it.
You see I look? It look near to, about like closest me could have geared to tambourine leaf like.
Oh,
they have a seed too, you know.
So people must sell bush at Jamaica now. They must sell it to make money off it.
I buy this for one woman. I said a little package at $300 I pay for it.
Yeah, because people who know bush, you know, and know where it's for too, and know the use side. Come here, them say nothing is good for the eye. So one lady I show you what they say for great it and wash the eye with it.
So me here. But when it comes for me eye, I not run no risk with it. I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody wants. See one man I show me want something name look like a duck. When you again? And I tell me that I say me not busy.
I squeeze in your eye, right?
Me not, yeah.
Water drop out tight. That's something there.
So the man I tell me I find something. Me not put nothing in my eye, my dear. We tell God.
Probably better than the medical one, then the eye drop.
Forget where something name again. I me buy some funny, you know, and he said, I never eat them. I throw them away. But me see people say good, but you know. So you
no, someone pick up a tree and the shape it have a thing oval shape like a squeeze and the water come out there. That it?
No, the one that have a shape like duck. It's like at the blooming at the tree, but it look like duck. Me do one video and put it on the platform and I said the way down when they buy them. Forget the name or something.
But bush good though.
Yeah, bush good.
So I can tell you that these TCNs will fall under the 2009 refugee policy, right? Which will give PICA, Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, oversight of the Ministry of National Security, right?
Yeah.
Which Horace Chang is the head of.
I know.
So I am telling you that the minister has the power to let them stay. He has it.
Any country at all have a power if they want to make them stay, and the government can actually override the immigration law.
You're correct, because usually the executive really is in charge of immigration.
What a mess we in.
But I know that the court has a role to play with asylum, but at the same time, it is also an administrative framework under the 2009 refugee policy, and is the Minister of National Security is in charge of the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA.
Yeah.
So what you were saying about Bruce Golding now?
I was saying that I must say I appreciate him for come out and speak like the way he speak, because I think the speech that he gave was a good speech.
Somebody is asking if it was a Category 5 hurricane. That's my understanding. It was.
That's what we were told.
Yeah. Now, I think my opinion on Bruce Golding's presentation is that he is really representing the interests of Andrew Holness. I think that he is a proxy of Andrew Holness. Andrew Holness couldn't come out and say it personally.
Mm-hmm.
So probably he asked Bruce Golding to make those statements because he's coming. Andrew Holness can't dissociate himself from the Chinese, you know.
No.
The Chinese is the true source of Andrew Holness's wealth. The Chinese is the true source of Andrew Holness's empire. Right? So he doesn't want the US government to disturb that relationship he has with the Chinese.
But the US want that?
Well, let me tell you something. When you think about trade, Jamaica doesn't trade with China. So we have a big advantage if we should produce and export our goods into the USA. Tourism. We don't really have tourism from China. Think about it.
True.
Whatever interest China or Chinese nationals show in Jamaica, it is to own our facilities. Their construction projects come with high demands. They have to get lands. They have to own a lot of lands. They have to do a lot of real estate development. They control ports. You don't realize that if the US gives a grant or a loan, it doesn't come with so much burden. The Chinese loans are meant to own parts of Jamaica and probably own the entire country if it defaults.
Yeah.
Sure, I believe that.
But it's easier for the Jamaican politicians to do business with Chinese nationals because it's only one question the Chinese ask, and it's how much. And you will get those bags of cash in a flash. If the commission is so huge, you can choose a luxurious property on the beachfront. You will get it. So the Chinese has a massive bribery schemes that would have corrupted politicians in Jamaica especially. But all over the Caribbean and African countries, that's how the Chinese operate.
1 minute,
and
Jim.
Our government.
1 minute, Jim. Candy Flame is saying good night, Auntie Jen. I'm in the KPH. What happened to you now, brother? What happened to you? I pray God give you, if you're in there, whatever the situation is, you get speedy recovery.
Let me tell you something, man. The Chinese, they don't respect our labor laws. They don't respect our environmental laws.
Not at all.
They get everything done in a flash because they are paying politicians. So people who they do business with at the lower level cannot obstruct them, cannot place any barrier to prevent their works from going through because they are paying politicians. The day that the Prime Minister intertwine himself with the Chinese nationals is the day that the Prime Minister's life is changed forever. He will have generational wealth to come. I'm telling you, ask anybody who has ever done business with the Chinese in Jamaica. They are the most corrupt people on earth. And because of our politicians are so vulnerable to corruption, they just feed them with whatever they want to get back their pound of flesh. You know that when these workers on these construction sites are damaged, they don't pay them any form of compensation?
Really?
I know people who have been damaged and never receive a dollar. The most they will do is help them with their hospital fees. And those monies wouldn't go through the victims' hands. They rather pay for an x-ray to be done or something. No money going through the victims' hands.
So that's a
But
question.
they can't do it because the Chinese will tell you that the minister who is in charge, we report to him directly. We don't report to you guys.
But let me say something to you, Jim. You know, if someone get rid of the Chinese, so the America come out, all of them will have them business of a lockdown, pack up and go back to China and all of them something. How you see Jamaica at this time?
We would be better off. Let me tell you something. We need back Jamaica. Let me tell you why it can't be good, Auntie Jen. All those hundreds of acres of land that the Chinese got, it's our wealth that they have received. The loans that they gave us, it could have been worked out differently if the government didn't engage the Chinese in a corrupt manner. We would have gotten value for money. You're
not answering my question straightforward.
Yeah, man, but I'm getting to the point. You know that Abraham Traore used Chinese nationals to do projects and send them back home. They couldn't own nothing in Traore's country, Burkina Faso. They couldn't own nothing. They do their job, they get their pay, and go back home. Because they couldn't bribe him. But in Jamaica now, our politicians are collecting bags of money for their personal enrichment and would have given the Chinese deals that are dishonest, that is antithetical towards the interests of Jamaican people. I am saying that if the US government has a plan to engage the Jamaican government in terms of relieving the Chinese from our country, I think that would be a good program. I think repatriating the Chinese
agree with you.
Back to China would be a very good program because we would get to own our wealth.
But I know
they would have to be paid. I know they would have to be paid off. Right?
Jim, I agree with you.
Well, they have taken our country away.
Before the Chinese become so prevalent in Jamaica, a lot of people couldn't buy certain things. Clothes was expensive. Because I remember back then. But China then come in, you can go downtown right now, you can get a slippers for 300, 400, 500. You can get some...
But something that when you put it on your feet, it's
torn off. Well, I know you may not buy it, but a man out there when I have nothing can buy it.
No, man, but it would have, the markets would have
opened. All of them right
now,
China.
The markets would have opened. Remember, it's a global space, you know. So trade, it's demand and supply. So trade would have come to Jamaica and Chinese goods would be flowing same way if we didn't have these Chinese nationals in Jamaica.
Well, no, because a lot of them you can online now that you can get straight in. Amazon also too.
Yeah, and you have businessmen who would source their containers from China. So once there is a demand, those supplies will be fulfilled. It's not good. You need, look here, man. Even the takeover of our backsides, you know, it's politicians, you know, collect hundreds of millions of dollars and put in their bank account and buy properties all over and sold it to the Chinese in a corrupt manner. What you think they own our backside, Andy Jen? Big monies. Let me tell you something. Sometimes when I see poor people worshiping these politicians and clamoring for people clamoring for them to get third and fourth term. They don't really understand the wealth of these politicians. They are extremely wealthy. They cannot be broke ever again. They would have collected hundreds of millions of dollars from the Chinese national. These bauxite weren't given to the Chinese like that. Politicians would have sold out your greatest assets to the Chinese and collected monies beyond their wildest imagination. How many acres? I heard that they got 700 odd acres. Is it somewhere in St. Catherine?
I don't hear that one.
Yes.
Who give them a land?
The government.
I forgot to check out that.
I'm not sure if it was in lieu of road construction. But they did. But that is just one out of many.
So what would I get back the money if America said them have to go? Where would I get money for pay them? Where we going to get the money to pay them back?
The Chinese would, the Americans would assist, and the IMF and the other banks, international lending agencies,
So
they
them
would have to assist.
So hold on, them a lend we money for pay them for come and we pay back the money.
It is very difficult, and the Prime Minister knows that the US is going to squeeze him, because over time you would have sold out Jamaica to the Chinese. So this predicament is mainly caused by Andrew Holness, who is at the M for over 10 years, right? So, and it's at that period in time that the Chinese became so powerful in Jamaica.
They became powerful for true, man. They really dominate the place.
Exactly.
Let me tell you, man. Everywhere you turn of them are run business still, you know. Me see all out of town, them are run all the grocery place, you know, for sure. Say all in a little corner place, them are go everywhere. But me not bash them. I think
no, man, I have to bash them, Antigen, because they are corrupt, and they gave politicians big money so that we the people of
but hold on, so why you would say
at
them corrupt and another person who are taking money from them corrupt?
Of course. Both of them.
Because if the politician take the money, well, I don't know if it goes, you know, I mean, your words.
So how would they get, how would the Chinese have so much dominance?
I know, so they signed some agreement with them.
Antigen, do you know anybody who does business with Chinese in Jamaica?
No.
Like real business and money's passing?
Mm-mm.
Probably you need to ask. I told you, it's one question the Chinese ask. How much? Once you're in position of power, a Chinese will pay you substantial sum of money to have control, to have access. They pay for access, they pay for control, they pay for dominance, right? They pay for ownership of prime lands and road construction. The government allocated a total of 1,200 acres of state land across multiple sites, including Caymanas in St. Catherine and Miami Bay Centre, to China Harbour Engineering Company in a land swap deal instead of cash payment for the over US 720 million North-South Highway project. Let me tell you something. Politicians are mega billionaires in Jamaica. I'm telling you that these deals are not done without politicians getting substantial amounts of monies. I don't think it was a good deal to give the Chinese all this amount of land for a loan. I don't think so. And you know, it's not. I have heard that deal being questioned before. And in a time like now, when the US is questioning the Chinese dominance in Jamaica, I think that the ambassador, the incoming one, should look at these deals that the government entered with the Chinese over the past 10 years.
Yeah, man, it can happen, man. That's why you say Bruce has come out attack, man. Something imminent. Something is imminent. Something.
But look here. Bruce Golding caused his own demise. Bruce Golding administration held up Dudus's extradition warrant for 9 months. The same administration used Harold Brady to retain the services of Manat, Phelps and Phillips to lobby the State Department to drop charges against Dudus. Look at how many persons died in the Tivoli incursion. You know, that didn't have to happen, you know. Never had to happen. But Bruce Golding was caught up in a web of corruption, and he decided to show face like an about turn. He wanted to take a U-turn and say to the US, I'm going to show you that I am not involved in any criminality. I'm going to show you that I am not supporting any strong man. And that is when he would have sent the soldiers down there to wipe through clean. Why? Because he put himself into something that became very cantankerous. Right? Bad, very bad for the people of Jamaica. So, Bruce Golding is talking, you know. But you realize he's not critical of Andrew Holness, the most brutal regime in the Western Hemisphere in terms of using the police force to crack down on civilians.
And choosing words smartly, man.
Right? You notice that Bruce Golding he has not spoke about anything in regards to illicit enrichment?
No.
In other words, the man is not critical of Andrew Holness any at all. So whose interest you think Bruce Golding is representing? Bruce Golding is a proxy of Andrew Holness. Right? I'm telling you, man, these things, Bruce Golding wouldn't have come out and made those statements, man, unless it was sanctioned by the Prime Minister of Jamaica. I'm telling you.
I agree.
You know? But he would have caused the massacre in West Kingston. And the blood of those people.
I'm not cut to Jim. So why you Bruce Golding? Why never do it himself?
Why owner do it himself?
Huh?
Why owner do it themselves?
Jim, why Andrew?
You can't contact your man. Your
So
man.
what difference with that?
You can't.
No man, he's afraid of Trump.
You can't
He can't
talk.
come out and say that as a sitting Prime Minister.
You can't say it, man. In all fairness,
he couldn't say it.
he couldn't say it, man.
Remember that? You see, when you're compromised.
Yeah, in compromise. He can't say nothing. It a bird name though. It a bird name down.
Yes, because let me tell you something. The Chinese company, meaning the Prime Minister being in the company of the Chinese nationals, that's his source of wealth creation.
You know, say all of them but then keep us something there airtime. You see the Chinese them did up in you have all Chinese for them conference, you know.
I'm telling you, man, if you know the Chinese very well, they run big money, man. Big money to get what they want.
So where they get all of them money there from?
I don't know. And you know that in China, corruption in China is punishable by death, you know. Or some severe punishment, all your cash and assets confiscated. But I realize that their nationals do it in large volumes in third world countries.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
man.
Jim, I have to say thank you for your time out tonight. You were very informative. We'll come back again on it, you know. But if you have any closing remarks or you want to say, go ahead.
I'm going to say when Lambert Brown got up in the Senate and spoke about the TCN deal and made reference to the Secretary of State and the President,
Yeah.
Tom Tavares Finson said, is that the position of the PNP? And
Remember.
Lambert Brown said, no.
Remember.
That's my personal opinion, and that's the facts. Because he referenced the source of his information. And the source were the President and the Secretary of State. Now, all these statements that Bruce Golding is making against the U.S. government, does it reflect the Prime Minister's position and that of the government of Jamaica?
Well, that's a good question, but nobody never asked him that. No, it's a my view. It's a film view. Oh, in something, it's a film view.
What go ask him that? I've never seen another media house a question.
Good night, O'Neill.
I've never seen none of them a question, you know. More women wrong upon
Let me
clips.
tell you
You ever
something.
see anything like that?
Bruce Golding is retired. He has no real part to play in international affairs right now.
But
He is representing someone who is at the helm, someone who is active in politics.
But the time
Think
that,
about it.
you notice, me not want to PJ, I want to him. Me not hear nothing about PJ for a day. Him quiet
No. The last time he came out and spoke about SSL, you know, and you know, some of our journalists were making a mockery of him, but the man was standing up for the people of Jamaica whose monies were fleeced by SSL and the GLP administration. But I can tell you that these politicians are extremely wealthy. The day they locked in themselves with the Chinese nationals, that's the day their lives change forever. You don't forget, you don't remember that the China Harbour Engineer Company was paying 1.5% as agent fees for each project. Right? So they would get 1.5% of the value of a project. That's what China Harbour Engineering Company was doing. How you think they got Jalisco and the other the other backside company? Politicians have done clandestine and surreptitious deals with them in order for them to receive that. Look here, China has a large stake in Jamaica now, you know.
Me know that now.
And I can tell you that it is better we had engaged the US, because the US doesn't leave us in this hardship with the Chinese. When the Chinese come to make a deal, they are going to have dominance in the country. All your key infrastructure will be owned by them, right? No ports of entry is controlled, right? By the Chinese at the wharves. And I can tell you that they own a lot of luxurious properties in Jamaica too. It's not on the road. Because the first person to engage the Chinese in real estate development is Andrew Holness. I can tell you that his wife apartment complexes, when I go there and look, Chinese nationals doing the construction. There was one on Deanery Road with a three apartment complexes. The Chinese had that contract. 1 bedroom at the time. It finished about 2 years ago. 1 bedroom for $28 million. 2 bedroom for $40 million.
What?
Right? And they have those projects all over Jamaica.
They build one big, one tall one down on my bed, you know.
Look here.
One skyscraper.
Prime Minister's wife has a massive housing unit when you pass 100-man police station. She had to contract JPS to run a lot of light poles and install electricity. It was a massive project. Let me, you don't understand. No? You talk about lease flat, 800 million. These people, that's long time story, man. They have long surpassed those monies. And in terms of the Integrity Commission now, because the appeal court says that Andrew Holness and his 3 shell companies should pay IC, and he should also pay the directors who were sued, because some of the directors' names were listed as party to the suit, separately from the Integrity Commission. The court has awarded costs against Andrew Holness and his 3 companies to give back those directors their legal costs, and also Integrity Commission. And I can tell you that's easily $70 million. And the Prime Minister won't have to worry about where he will get that money from. That money can come from many sources. And I can tell you that the Prime Minister is not going to volunteer with his lawyer and give these monetary costs to the registrar in the Supreme Court like that. He's going to punish them. He's going to let his accountant manipulate the figures. He's going to probably appeal it to the Privy Council. This guy is not going to take his money and give anybody at Integrity Commission or IC itself. He is going to punish them with litigation. And it's the people of Jamaica he will be punishing if he deprive the Integrity Commission of legal costs when it was awarded by the court.
I tell you already, so while him a plan one thing, Trump a plan another fame. So that's how we're going to leave it for tonight. Again, I must say, thanks to you, thanks to God is good who stopped by and joined the conversation. And
okay.
I really want to sleep, my sister Marianne. You know me stay already.
Yes.
So,
okay.
Yeah, man. So have on yourself a great night, and if it's God will, we join back again another time.
Okay.
All right. Goodbye. God is good. Good night. She must have gone sleep, you know. All right, over YouTube. I'm gonna tap up the screen before I go, man. All who never tap up the screen, tap up the screen. Angie Bless, cover up, yeah. Tap up the screen. All right, have yourself a great night. Catch you again. Thanks for the love and thanks for the support. Bye.